very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, and welcome back to The Run Through, your favorite figure skating podcast that makes us kiss, makes us cry, and makes us say, where are you on this inauguration day? And wherever you are, I'm sorry. I am one of your hosts, Ashley, and I have been prompted to apologize on behalf of this nation to all of you listening now.
Yeah, I will apologize to
joined.
myself because I did turn on the inaugural address and it was an insane negative experience.
I went out to dinner and got day drinks, so it's not even dinner. I went out to lunch.
It's not even
Got day
noon where
drinks.
I
How
live.
many day drinks did you have that you think it
to.
was dinner?
I had to. I was really, you know what? My anxiety has just been buzzing today, and I obviously know it's inauguration day, but I didn't really give it that much space. And then I went out to lunch and had my day drink, plural, and really was able to reconcile with where that anxiety was coming from. And it's the happenings of today.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch any of the inauguration, and I don't think I missed anything because I'll be around for the next 4 years, and
Fingers
I'm sure
crossed.
I'll catch something.
I think you'll catch something. The disease, maybe.
The flu,
Yeah. Heartbreak.
COVID again.
I actually am really proud to say I've never tested positive for COVID.
Okay. I'm glad you said it that way. My dad likes to say he's never had it. And I'm like, well,
No. I live with a teacher.
it's never tested
I've
positive.
had it. I've just never tested positive for
I've
COVID.
recently
I don't
tested
believe
positive
that
for it.
There are people who just have never had it, who live relatively normal lives around other people.
JP never had it.
Never
and-
tested positive.
But even when I had
JP
it,
was famously in Finland the whole pandemic.
right where it didn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't feel like that's the same.
No, it's
I
not.
was testing when Alex would come home with COVID, and I never tested positive.
As we've established, Finland is too happy of a place for a lot of things to thrive. Figure skating.
Airborne disease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but disease can definitely thrive here. Welcome back to the run through, everybody.
Well, on that note, should
Let's
we talk
about Canadian
Canadians?
nationals.
Yeah. Anything but America. Let's talk about Canada.
Yeah.
So, did you guys watch any Canadians at all? Catch any videos?
I saw a few clips online.
Period.
I have seen a photo of Maddie Skeezus in the Kiss and Cry.
A
and
photo.
that is
A
it.
still photo.
A still frame. I saw her. Was it red dress,
still
red
photo.
tights?
Like a paparazzi photo.
Yeah. But was it red dress, red tights? I couldn't see her boots, so I want to know how she connected the red tights to the boots.
She's not in red mesh tights. I'm looking at her. She's in.
Is it just a red mesh dress and no red
It's
tights? Because I
pink.
swear
It's like a pink
Okay,
dress.
but she has colored tights, correct or no?
No. Maybe it's sounding like you have.
You're talking about the pink dress with like the white floral pattern at
No.
the top?
No.
Oh, then
then
It
you're,
was
you
literally
saw,
just like a red dress.
is
It was
Ashley back at
beautiful.
the exhibitions again?
I might have accidentally watched an exhibition.
I just don't think that she wore a red dress
She didn't.
this weekend at all. She had an orange dress for her short program and like a pink and white for her free skate. Am I going crazy?
No, you're
No,
going.
I'm going
completely
crazy.
sane.
I'm the problem.
Oh, but I will say that she had a really nice short program. I do know that she skated a really nice,
she had
solid
two pretty
short
nice
program.
programs. She started popping some stuff at the end of her free skate, but she had two like pretty solid programs generally speaking. And they already named her for their one spot at Worlds for ladies.
I feel like deservedly
I
so.
think she's their
Yeah,
best
I mean-
shot to get more spots.
100%. I think she's going to be the most internationally competitive. But one of our personal favorites on the pod, Sarah Maud Dupois.
Mm-hmm.
Dupois?
Pois. No,
It's-
Pui.
It's Pui, but we say Pois.
Okay, I never remember which is which.
It's Pui because I want it to be Pois.
It feels more expensive to be Pois.
100% agree.
Mm.
And she honestly skated like she wants to be expensive. She skated well.
She had a great free skate.
But want and to be are two separate things. So did she skate like she wanted to be expensive, or did she skate like she was expensive?
She skated like she
Is.
was expensive.
Yeah, the free skate was really good. She was really happy at the end. She really not all the landings were perfect, but it was one of those where she fought for all of them. Like, it
Mhm.
was a super respectable performance all the way through. I was happy for her.
I like both of her programs so much, actually. I think that
I
they're
really
both
like it. Yeah.
beautiful. Two beautiful David Wilson programs. Love them.
It would be really nice if Maddie Schizas could go get a spot for Sarah Maud to go to Milan as well.
I would love that.
Yeah. I would love to continue talking about her. So for that alone, I feel like it would be great for Maddie to go and just really get her job done. Because, I mean, she has the technical goods that she needs. It's just whether or not she performs them under pressure. I'm still looking for this red dress, and it feels like it's from a fever dream.
It's
I
sounding
swear.
like it.
It was not the pink dress with the flowers. I truly saw her with a red mesh dress and what I believe were red tights. So now I wonder if I'm the problem.
Well, you've been
I
known
always
to be
have been.
a problem
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
past.
Good to know my brand is continuing on.
Thriving.
Thriving.
Yeah, so the men's event, I know that you guys watched a little of Anthony Parody, who got
Mhm.
second.
I heard it was a messy event.
Yes, Roman
Mhm.
Sadovsky won, but did not skate cleanly. I think he fell in both programs, if I remember right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, not the best showing for the Canadian men. And I think Steven Gogolev withdrew,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so they
Who is
left.
Steven training with now? Because I know for a long time he was working with Raf's team, but he's not with Raf anymore, is he?
Long
Okay,
pause.
I feel like if he was, Adam, you would have said yes faster.
Well,
so I feel like he's not.
Well, so he's always had this deal that he would be working with Raf, but he'd travel with his Canadian coach,
his own team, yeah.
Lee Barkel.
Okay.
Yeah. Lee is still his coach.
Yeah. Which is sort of the same deal that Jeffrey Buttle had. Jeffrey Buttle trained with Raphael, but
Mhm.
Lee Barkel was his main coach.
Right.
Now, can we talk about something that sounds a little scary? That
Sure.
Leah and Trent won the free skate over Deanna and Max.
Yeah.
How did Gianna and Max skate though?
Not great.
Okay.
And Leah and Trent skated really well.
Mhm.
So yeah, Deanna and Max looked a little bit rusty in both of their programs, particularly on the side-by-side jumps.
Mhm.
Max popped both of the triples that they had planned in the free skate, so that is contributing to them not winning the free skate. They have nice material, obviously. I mean, we saw it earlier this season. But Max gave a quote afterward that was like, I've been sick. We, are still, obviously trying to train more and planning to be back to our normal selves at our next competition, sort of
Mhm.
thing.
I feel like they
So-
have not been able to catch a break this season. It seems like every event someone is either been really sick or something's been going on so that their training has been impacted. And so they just haven't been able to go into any event feeling really solid.
Yeah.
And we've seen that.
But you know what? I can imagine that there was so much stress built up around if Deanna was going to get citizenship or not.
Totally.
And when something that you've put so much energy into and something that is so stressful finally is resolved, you let your guard down a little bit. And it's not surprising to me that he got sick and that they're
No.
having like, it's taking them a minute to get some momentum back, because that's got to be such a relief.
Mhm.
And I think for a while it was something that they could focus on instead of their skating. Do you know? Like it was almost
Yeah.
a bit of a distraction that's not there. And now the Olympics are a real thing. Before it was this abstract, like we hope we can do it, even being world champions. Now that it's a real thing, there's a different set of pressure. There's realigning
Yeah.
expectations of what you want from yourself. So it's not surprising to me that they're having this sort of uphill battle this
Yeah.
season. But I think that
Well,
they'll push through.
those expectations before were this like amorphous thing where they existed, but they weren't really real. And you couldn't clearly define them because it's like, we might not even be able to compete. So they're not actually a real thing. And realigning with those expectations being concrete and something that you can actually work towards, it's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different set of pressures that they have to deal with. So this season being messy for them isn't entirely surprising for me. And I think now, at least, that they have some answers, they can hopefully go back to the drawing board and figure out what they need to get done training wise so that they can just attack at Worlds and get their shit done so they can go into an Olympic season feeling really strong and set up to be competitive.
Yeah, because I mean, they're definitely going to have to be cleaner than they were at Canadians to do well
Yeah.
at World Championships. So, but yeah, I think it was actually great to watch Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud do so well in the free skate. Like, it was nice to see them skating better and better, so that
Yeah.
maybe Canada ends up with two pretty strong teams at Worlds.
They do feel like a team that has consistently been improving over. Are they 3 seasons in or 2?
I think they're at least 3, right?
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
this has been happening a while. Their
Yeah.
partnership.
This. Them.
Canadian nationals.
Canadian Nationals has been happening for a while. There was more of a crowd at Canadian Nationals this year than last year. So that was nice to see.
Well, it was
Well, it
like
was
at
a better rank.
yes, it was at a much better rank.
Was it in Quebec?
Yes.
It was, right? Right outside of Montreal, I believe.
Laval, wherever that is.
Sounds so French.
They did that on purpose.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally, Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier won by a
Convincingly.
large margin. They won by 11 points over Marjorie and Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I think 11 points feels like a lot.
Especially in dance.
But watching, especially watching the free dances back to back, I think Piper and Paul winning was the right thing. I don't know if you guys watched this.
They
but-
kind of had to do that, though, too.
Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, you
Well,
mean
I
Canadian Federation had to do that?
Yeah, I feel like they really have to send them out as the overwhelming
Yeah.
favorites, especially going up against Maddie and Evan. So they couldn't make it seem close.
Yeah, I think they've decided to lock themselves into this is our top team instead of
Yeah.
making them close. But yeah, like purely on the skating, like I think 11 points is a larger gap than maybe needed to be there. But I do think Piper and Paul deserve to win. In the free dance, it was just like they came out with this, you know how sometimes someone goes on the ice at a big competition and they just seem really peaceful and calm. That's
And
how
you
Piper
can't
and Paul
beat that
seemed.
aura.
No,
Yeah.
that is how they
Yeah,
seemed.
it's undeniable.
They came out and they looked like they were doing an exhibition. I mean, like the sort of blasé way that Paul held his body while he did this unbelievable 1-foot step sequence was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was this like relaxed, nice experience to watch them skate.
God, I wish I could ever describe nationals as relaxed and nice.
Yeah. I mean, right. You don't
I feel
see
like
that
the only
very
other
often.
person who, or people who are going to be able to say the same, it's going to be Maddie and Evan.
Mhm.
But
It's
even
an
then, I
exhibition
feel like
for them.
it's an energy, right? And
Yeah.
even then, I think that's something that you access that is hard to. Like, I remember going to the 2018 Olympic practice rink for like one of the first ice dance practices, and there was, I mean, practice is different than actually competing, obviously, but there was an energy in the rink, in the practice rink, when Tessa and Scott came onto the ice like they owned it,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
that made me feel very
Well, they did.
confident that they were going to win that competition.
Mhm.
Because it was just like there was no tenseness at all about their presence.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel like Piper and Paul were skating at nationals.
Isn't it so fascinating how someone's energy will completely dictate the way that an event will unfold?
Well, I mean, that's where, when your coaches are like, people are always watching, the judges are always watching, and you can win a nationals with your practice ice. There is some level of truth there, because skating with that kind of like, not flippant, but just like
Confidence.
Mhm.
it's just confidence. It's
Yeah.
that ease. You just, there's no rush. You don't have to try that hard, because you just know that you are trained and ready.
Mhm.
If you skate that way in practice, people eat that up. It gets
Yeah.
into, it informs the way you watch a performance.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something about the skating in practice. I feel like, to piggyback off of what you were saying, Ashley, is that, when judges are watching the practice, it can kind of dictate that momentum. That this is so true for a nationals, four continents, Europeans, Worlds, Olympics. I think at the Grand Prix, it's like they're still setting up the arena, and like the judges are still getting into town, and like it's the
Yeah.
off season, so like somebody will skate really well in practice.
Well, there's usually fewer practice sessions at a Grand
Yes,
Prix,
totally.
too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at these bigger events, it's like you show up, like you're in your best shape, you're ready to go. And so when you do these practices and you skate, like you really are setting the tone for how
Yeah.
you will be perceived through that entire event. And of course, like if you do well and you skate amazing and whatever. But these practices can really, like, as a competitor, you feel the energy other people
Yeah.
are creating
Yeah.
too.
But also, people trust what you're doing on a practice that late in the season.
Mhm.
Like, if I were to go out onto a competitive practice and do half a free skate, people are going to be like, she is not in shape. If I were to show up at nationals and do half a free skate, people are going to be like, fuck, she doesn't even need the rest of her free skate.
Right. Truly. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a completely different
It's true.
message.
Yes.
So that's Canadians.
Bye.
Congrats. Now, I think we have some unfortunate news,
Yeah.
and that is that Jason Brown is withdrawing from the U.S. Championships.
Yeah. He posted about it this morning. We're recording on Monday, Inauguration Day, as has been established. And he was so upset about the inauguration that he withdrew.
He said, I got to sit it out.
No,
Yeah.
he said he's been having.
Well, he said, I need to overshadow this dark day.
Yeah, well, yes. But yeah, he said he's been having trouble with an equipment transition of some kind, using some new equipment and not able to train hard enough. That was what he posted on Instagram. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I feel like when we were previewing nationals last week, we were talking about how open the door already felt for someone like Andrew Torgashev. And now, I
Mhm.
mean, there is no door. It's a walkway.
Right.
I feel like this is good business on Jason's behalf, though. I feel like showing up on a national stage with the world watching, and with Jason, it's obviously, hopefully he's working towards another Olympic team. That being said, he's also considering shows and being asked to perform. And every single time you go out on a public stage and you skate poorly, that affects your brand as an athlete. So I think for him to make the decision of, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not going to put myself onto that stage not looking the way that I want to look, it's really smart for him, not just from a competitive viewpoint, but from a professional one as well.
And, I think during an Olympic season, he's going to want to train full time in the way that he was this season. And this season was the first time that he was back on the Grand Prix, that he was trying to do a full season and not just coming to the national championships, getting a medal, going to Worlds. So he had to gauge how his body was going to react so that he can now know what he needs to do differently in the Olympic season. And it's really unfortunate to have the equipment issues, but in a way, it's way better to have them now than to have them next season, to have everything sorted out and to see that if he is in a place where he does want to try to make another Olympic team. Jason Brown has literally nothing to prove. He has an Olympic medal. He is a former national champion. He's been to the Olympics twice. If he feels that he can do it, he should go for it. But he needs, as an athlete, to have all the information out in front of him to see if it's doable. Because if it's not, don't waste your time. Go do the shows, make money. Like you said, Ashley, like you don't want to go out there and have everybody's last memory of you be poor skates.
A bad skate.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
We've seen athletes who have completely cheapened their value as a performer by going out onto competitive ice and skating bad.
Yeah, and that's his livelihood.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah.
I have a conversation that I'm curious about. This has literally nothing to do with Jason and equipment issues, at least his in particular. So I never had equipment issues, so I can't speak to them. But obviously throughout the years, we've had a lot of athletes have equipment issues. Adam, did you ever have equipment issues?
Okay, before I answer this, I'm going to say something where, like, Jason did an interview recently. I know this is not about Jason. We're just talking about equipment issues in general. But Jason did an interview recently where he was talking about how he's had the same pair of boots for like 3 years.
Okay, that's crazy.
Right, but that's also like a professional skater sort of thing. Where,
yeah,
do you
but
know
trying
what I mean?
triple axels on boots that are 3 years old, like it's obvious why he struggled this season.
To avoid equipment issues, I always timed out when I was going to change my boots so that when I changed and I was in a new pair of boots, the boots before were never dead.
So you always had a backup.
So I could always go back. Because I remember that, for instance, I remember like boots breaking down and I'd go to the shoemaker and I'd get like leather patches put on and stuff like that. But I remember specifically, I was skating the whole season. This was the Olympic season in 2018 that I was skating on these pair of boots and they were really kind of on their last legs. And I remember after nationals, Raphael was like, okay, let's change the skates. You have 6 weeks. It'll be more than enough time. And I changed the boots and I was skating and it just felt clunky and bad. And I just did not feel right. And I remember I was skating and I was doing a program and I was going into like some jump and I tripped and I fell back and I fell so hard on my back that I was like black and blue down my ass and up my back. And I had to take
God.
3 or 4 days off because I couldn't walk. I wasn't like, I didn't break. Do you remember this at all?
Of course she doesn't.
I was not at the rink because I was not training for the Olympics.
But you were still around. I didn't know if you remembered.
Oh, no, I was
no,
physically around,
my
but
back was
mentally,
black and your mind was
somewhere else.
blacked out. So that's what was happening.
Yeah, I was like fresh from driving down from like WeHo after hanging out with Sarah. I was not doing well.
Hey, that was a good time for me.
But
maybe. I don't remember. It depends on the WeHo times that you mean.
Yeah, it really depends.
But
for both of us.
I remember that I was skating in these new boots, and I skated in them for about 3 weeks, and it just did not feel right. Once I took those days off to like let my ass heal,
Yeah.
I just was like,
Important.
I'm just skating in the old boots, and I got back onto the ice in my
Is that what you skated in through the Olympics?
yes, and the boots that I was like, these are dying. Then I skated in them for like another year. So
Wait, but do you feel like it was just that particular like pair of boots, or do you feel like the timing just wasn't quite right?
I think it's it was the perfect recipe of everything where it's like I was stressed about a big event and I'm not somebody who loves new boots. Like Nathan,
Yeah.
for instance, would change his boots before every event.
Yeah.
So he would have fresh, brand new boots because he really felt like that bounce from the new boot. I didn't. I
just
needed
didn't
mine to be
have
like
that.
broken down.
Yeah.
And I remember skating with Yuna. She was the same, only she would change one boot at a time. Like she would skate in a new right
I
boot.
think that's insane.
It's
that to me
crazy.
is
But you know
crazy.
what? She never let them break down totally. Like they were never broken
Yeah.
down. They were just older. So she was just constantly changing, which also meant she had a million options. So there were times where she was just like, I don't like this right foot. I'm going back to 2 pairs ago's right foot. And everything's mounted the same. But I would say that
I mean, but you're dealing with leather, and I think that's important to know, or at least for the most part, you're dealing with leather. And so not every single boot is going to feel the exact same. I feel like it's like my feet are completely numb. I didn't care about sharpenings. I didn't care about boots. And so when I hear about boot problems, I'm like, this isn't a thing. But I recognize that it is a thing to other people. It was just never a thing for me.
I will say this also, that like I skated in Jackson's and for the last like few years of my career, and they were amazing to work with. And if I had issues, they were right there to help. But I will say this, that over the like 4, 5, or 6 years that I worked with them, they changed the model of the boot I was in maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So they were constantly like updating the model. And I used to skate in graphs like you did.
And I was in grafts my entire
And they
career.
never changed
Not
the
once.
model
Not
that
a
you were
once.
in. It was the same model.
The only time I actually truly did have boot problems, and this was the one time in my career, they switched factories. And so they had a factory in, Switzerland, and then they switched to a factory in Canada. And when they switched to the factory in Canada, I've never gotten blisters my entire career. I got the worst blisters of my life. And that one pair I couldn't break down. I don't know what they did differently, but I had to switch out of those boots because I couldn't break them in.
Yeah.
And then they switched back to the other factory, and I never had a problem ever again. So
Well,
if you're
I mean-
looking for reliable skates, Graf is great.
I mean, that's like, I remember I was getting my graphs from Switzerland
Yeah.
and loved them. And then I started getting them from Canada, and they would like fall apart, like heel snaps.
Real. Yeah.
And it just didn't work. And that's when I
quality
started
was
going
so
into
different.
Jackson's. And it was just easier because they were a North American distributor. So it was
Yeah.
just like, hey, I don't like this. I want the heel lower. I want these modifications. And they could make them. But the models were changing. And I was getting the same boot. If I pull out the old boots that I was wearing in 2015 versus the ones I was wearing in 2018, the way the laces go into the boot are different. The way the hooks lay are different. And it would have been so much easier if it just stayed consistent.
That would have.
But that is
driven
kind of
me
what
insane.
happens with these boots. And I think that's why sometimes people have equipment issues. So I completely get it. I totally get it. And it's really, really frustrating.
Yeah, I was trying to look up what he skates in. I can't. What Jason skates in. I can't
Jackson's.
find. He's in Jackson's.
Do you guys remember in 2018, I think right after the Olympics ended, Karen Chen kept talking about the boot problem she was having, and
I cannot speak to this.
and the boot
Oh,
company came out to defend themselves. Do you guys remember
Yes.
that?
Yes.
That
Yes,
was crazy.
I do.
That
I don't
is
remember what
crazy.
company it was actually, but
SP
I'm on
Terry.
Team Boot. I'm
I
on
remember.
Team Boot.
You're on team. I am too, because at a certain point, you need to be able to figure it out.
Right. Your foot is the problem.
I think there's a certain
It's
time to
not.
be like, I need to suck it up because it's, I mean,
Well, and like it's not like she didn't compete, like she did.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I think to have, I mean, we're not talking about Jason here, obviously, but like
No. Oh, yeah.
to have boot problems over long periods of time, eventually it's like a person who keeps having bad roommates.
yeah, maybe you're the bad roommate.
Exactly.
And like the thing is that
I haven't been to enough therapy to talk about this yet, so
Oh
keep my
my
mouth
God.
shut.
But
yeah,
it's
I just
true.
remember the boot company coming out and saying something about it, feeling like a crazy turn of events at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think that's so crazy.
At a
The
certain
boot company-
point, as a brand, that's actually really. This is completely separate of it being Karen. It's more just like as a business, when you have a high-profile client that consistently is like, "This is bad, this is bad, this is bad," and then you're like, "You're getting free boots. So if you're gonna keep on complaining, use different boots."
Yeah, I mean, or if it's eventually, if like the company and you are just not finding the solution, then
Right, then
it is
maybe
time
it's just
to
not
change
the right
companies.
fit.
I mean,
Yeah.
like what Adam's talking about, like he was having trouble with the graphs that were Canadian, he just switched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, but also like, I was never considering SP Terry's, but if I ever was, I would never go to them if they're going to talk about the athletes that are wearing them. I think that's also a crazy business move. I understand you have to like defend your
It's
honor.
crazy on both ends.
That was a crazy situation on both sides. Yeah.
Totally.
It was.
Well, I feel like they wouldn't have done that if they were in the position that they're in as a boot company.
Totally. Well, and to quote the current president of the United States, I think there are fine people on both sides.
There are two genders.
There are two genders.
And those genders are Jackson and
P,
Graf.
Terry.
Yeah. At least we have TikTok back. No thanks to President
You know,
Trump.
I had been phasing out of TikTok over the last couple of months. Once I heard it might be taken away, I was like, you can't take anything away from me if I don't care about it.
This is exactly what I did, Ashley. Like, I mean, I've had TikTok basically the whole time it's been around, but I've never been like a constant scroller. I am like if somebody sends me one TikTok, I'll be on it for 2 hours. Like, I do find myself really enjoying it, but I don't always reach for it. And then in the last, like 2 weeks, I've been on it so much because I'm like, this is my favorite platform now that you're trying to take it away.
Right.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So what
Was it gone for 24 hours or did it not even get
like
less?
14.
Yeah. But you know what? It's all like a ruse.
It's a stunt.
Like, we're working with President Trump. One, he wasn't the president at the time. And as soon as it was back, they're just like, it's all a scam, and get ready for like, it's going to be just as bad as being on X.
Yeah, it's going to be censored. Right-wing content is going to show up more on the For You pages.
Totally.
Like, you're not going to see stuff that's pro-Palestine.
I won't call it X. My entire Twitter feed is right-wing bullshit. And I'm like, I never liked or looked at a single post
They heard her.
that would even insinuate that I like this stuff.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so don't fall for it, everyone. He got rid of TikTok and intentionally got them to shut down so he could bring it back. So
yeah, they
every
did that
single
together.
phase, they're working together. There's two genders.
Yeah, and it's Trump and the Singaporean CEO of TikTok. Those are the two genders.
The two genders are Republican and Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
Those are the two genders
With
that we have here.
no ties to Singapore at all.
Wait, one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is not figure skating related, but athlete related, is, and I think we probably have some crossover in the audience. Yul Moldauer, who is a national champion Olympian gymnast, got a 16-month suspension for whereabouts failures.
I've seen way too many Instagram posts via Notes app from him as of late.
Well, because he posted
2 back-to-back is crazy.
Right, because he posted initially a statement that was a little, I mean this in a nice way, I guess, because I do really like Yule and I respect him and like him a lot.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit whiny. It was a little like, whiny is maybe the wrong word, but it had sort of excuses.
He left room for people who might not know exactly what they're reading to be like, wait, this doesn't seem fair.
Exactly, where he basically said, so whereabouts failures, for anyone who doesn't know, is you get a suspension for whereabouts failures if you have missed 3 tests in a 12-month period. And there's a system that athletes use that Ashley and Adam can tell you more about to update where they're going to be to make sure that...
It's the easiest system in the world. It is truly not hard. Okay. Since we originally started, this system has gotten so much easier. I believe you can text your whereabouts now to a number. So it takes all of 10 seconds to update your whereabouts. Now, as an athlete, you're expected to provide a 1-hour testing window for every single day. And so if anyone listening is like, whoa, that's hard.
And then they can show up randomly any of those days.
They can show up randomly. That being said, a lot of athletes will just put their 1-hour testing window at their house or wherever they like spend the most time. And then the testers will show up at like 6 a.m. And, you know, that's kind of your like safe window. That being said, when you travel, you have to obviously change your 1-hour testing window.
Yeah, and if you don't update it in advance and they show up, that is on you and that is a whereabouts failure. It doesn't matter that you're at a competition getting tested at the competition, which Yule said he was doing at least one of his whereabouts. I think it might have been 2 of them he was competing. But it's like the rule is you have to make that update or we are allowed to show up to test you. And if you're not there, that's a missed test.
Right.
I do like I agree with all of these rules. And it's on the athletes to get their schedules right. I do think if there's like a nationally sanctioned event as far as testing goes, like why are you sending people out to test during these events?
Well, they don't know that they're at that event.
Right. And so like the way it works is that this is what I'm assuming from my own experience, that I had a person who I always saw, like who always was the person who came. His name was Emilio. And Emilio would basically he'd have like his schedule for the week and he would get names that he needed to test for that week. And so he'd start at name 1 and then he'd wait for them to get tested and then he'd go to name 2 and then he'd go to name 3 and then, you know, he would clock out at whatever time he would clock out and then he'd start where he left off and he needed to get through all of those names for that week, for that month. And so these are just random names that show up. He's in charge of these athletes that were specifically in this area of Southern California. These male athletes, because I would have like a male doping agent that would come to the house because they have to be in the bathroom with you. 2 genders, exactly. Thank you, Trump. I get struck by lightning immediately. So I think that that's the way that it works and that they are not in control. They don't know your schedule. They're testing every single Olympic potential athlete, every single athlete who has Olympic potential that's on Team USA. There's a huge long list, but you submit your 3 months at a time. Like Ashley said, there's a 1 hour where you guarantee. I think everybody just always chooses 6 to 7 a.m. because there's...
It was the ass crack of dawn, and I was most likely going to be asleep at home.
Yes. And then I put my training times... I remember that I put my training times from like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. because I knew that I would most likely be there earlier and be there later. But I put that as my time because I was like, you know, let's say, you know, something comes up in the morning and I'm late to the rink and I'm not there at like usually 9:30, 10 o'clock or something. And let's say I have to leave early and I didn't update my whereabouts or whatever, but I gave myself a time that I was always there. And then, you know, they would most likely always show up at the rink. Sometimes they came to my house. But sending that updates whereabout. Sarah told me about this suspension that Yule is serving, and I went back into my old emails to see like, what did I say? And there's an email that like I sent an email to, and this was February 9th, 2018, the day that I was leaving or like going to the Olympics. And it says, location update. I'm staying in the Olympic Village. I'm in building 809, floor 4, room 404. I'm at the Olympic Village and will be between the competition rink and the village. Thank you. That's all the email says.
Yeah.
And it was that easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Which basically
you sent me like
means-
3 screenshots, Adam, and one of them was even simpler than that. It was like, I'm traveling to Colorado Springs from October 22nd to 24th, and then I'll be back. And that was it.
Yes. And which basically you're sending this update so that like when your doping agent has the list and the name, they just take you out of that, like out of his or hers required test for that week, and they put you in a different week. But you never know this as an athlete because it's completely random. You don't know that. But basically they just take it out so that you won't get randomly tested, because
How
you getting
often
tested
did you get tested?
once a quarter, 3 times a year.
I truly did not get tested that much.
I mean, it's supposed to be random, so
Yeah.
it makes sense
I
that
would
you would have
say
different
my
frequencies.
entire time living in California, I probably got tested. I was in California for about 10 years.
Yeah.
I probably got tested 5 times.
Wow.
I would
If
say that
that.
I got tested at least twice a year.
I did not. That's what blows my mind. And saying I got tested at least 5 times, I did have 1 missed test. And this is where I think my empathy for Yule kind of goes out the window. You miss 1 test, so you have that three strikes, right? So you miss 3 tests in 12 months, you're out. So you miss that first test, and you're like, never again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I will never make this same mistake again, because I do not want to even get close
Of course.
to
Yeah. And then
pulling myself out.
And then like you get to 2, it's like,
Oh, you get to 2. You should be emailing every day.
yeah. And he said that his 3rd missed test was after Olympic trials, when he did not get named to the Olympic team. And
Yeah.
he was, still very upset and trying to sort of emotionally recover from that. And just was, I guess, like 45 minutes away from where the tester was. And
Yeah.
they didn't, they weren't going to wait for him to
Sure.
make it back. That
but it's
3rd
kind of
one,
like that in Shikari,
that
like the
3rd one
rules are just the
circumstantially
rules.
is completely understandable, and like emotionally is really understandable. But if you
Mhm.
already have 2 and you want to keep
Yeah.
competing, like it's one thing if he
But also,
wants to
you're allowed
retire.
to be like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Why am I going to update my whereabouts?
Well,
Like,
I know that
I get that.
after the Olympics, I was fully planning on retiring.
Yeah.
And I think I went to the rink, actually. I went to the rink to go skate on some like random Saturday. And then all of a sudden I get a call. It's Emilio. I got to go get drug tested. I didn't remember to do my whereabouts, but I was, I was lucky that I was around. I said, okay, I'll be right there. Went and I had to do the drug test, and I did. That was my final drug test. He left. I said thank you, and I drafted the retirement email, because you have to also leave the pool. You have to say
have to
that you're
tell them
leaving.
You're out of the pool. Yeah. Yeah. I think though
I never told him I was out of the pool.
I'm sure you did,
you probably
I'm
did.
sure I didn't.
or maybe I mean
never
somebody
officially
on your
retired
behalf
either.
needs to
Like,
say. So
oh,
if-
someone was like, she's done. You probably should stop sending.
Yeah,
her
I mean,
emails
someone
'cause
might have
she's
done it on your
pissed."
behalf. Yeah.
It had to have been, because I truly did not ever like withdraw myself from the pool.
did you ever did you ever retire through U.S. figure skating?
No.
So you're still eligible for competition.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? I could come back.
Well,
at
and she's
any
never had
moment.
boot problems. I mean, she's ready to go.
You could
Not
go
on
right
these
back.
skates,
But, I
let
mean,
me tell you.
you could get a bye to nationals, because there is a rule that if you're a former Olympic medalist, I think that
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's how Sasha Cohen was able to compete in 2010.
But
Okay,
maybe
but
it's from the last quad.
I think it's from the last Olympics. Yeah. I think that's the way the bye rule works. It's like
Well,
you're
you
an
might need
Olympic
to-
medalist from this quad. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know what? That's stupid. Like, why
I'm not going to regionals.
Like, if
I
Brian
would
Boitano
kill
is like,
to see you at regionals. Adam and I would do a live podcast while you competed at regionals.
But what region would I compete out of?
The Northeast.
New England.
Yeah.
I don't want to compete against the Boston girls. Are you kidding me?
I mean, the
Okay, wait,
Eastern
here's what I
sectionals
did
was
as-
not that bad this year. I mean, Midwestern sectionals was way better than all the others, I think, if I remember the scores.
Well, I used to shoot myself in the foot because I competed out of the Pacific Northwest, which is famously like not super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would even say
Uh,
like aggressively uncompetitive.
Correct. But then I have to go to sectionals
On the
where I'm
Pacific
competing-
Coast.
and I'm
Yeah.
competing against the California girls.
Yes.
So
Well.
there's that.
Doors still open.
It is still open. I mean, I never left the like Eastern sectional like area because even when I moved to, I mean, I've been in California now for like 13 or 14 years. But when I moved, I never left the skating club of New York from when I skated in New Jersey, which is also not New York. So if I was already never in New York, I might as well stay in New York.
They have great athlete funding too.
And that's that on whereabouts, failures, and Ashley's eligibility.
Moral of the story is, if you've never been in New York, you can still represent it at the U.S. Championships.
That's truly a fact.
Speaking of the U.S. Championships, am I allowed to draft another skater onto my team because Jason was on my team?
Yes, I think the unspoken rule of the draft is that if somebody withdraws before the event, you absolutely have the opportunity to.
Yeah, as long as it's not mid-event.
Yes. Mid-event is you go right, you get that dash.
Mm-hmm,
If they have a short program score, or if it's within the day, dash.
Yeah.
Hopes dashed, skater dashed.
Okay, so I looked a little bit over the sectionals results again to see what my options were.
I mean, you have some good skaters still like available. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Sam Mindra, Joe Klein, Liam Kapakis.
Yeah. I will take Sam Mindra. Good luck, Sam, to both of us.
I love Sam skating though. So
Me too.
great choice.
And Jason, we will miss you.
Truly.
And I will miss you guys when you're in Wichita.
We are going to miss you as well.
Sarah, it's not right. It's not fair.
I know. But I will enjoy watching it at home. And I have an idea for a game that we're going to play when you guys are back.
That's so
post-nationals.
fun. I can't wait to lose it.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'll be looking forward to your live reporting to me
Sure.
while you're gone.
Absolutely.
And hope everybody at home is ready to watch nationals with me at home because I will be watching at home.
You can find me on Peacock, maybe.
I can find both of you on Peacock and on various feeds. So
Well, Adam, you're gonna make it onto the Big Kid feed, right?
I'm on the NBC feed. I'm doing backstage hits. So I'll be backstage, but Ashley will be front stage. And she'll be doing the live
the
feed.
secondary platform called Peacock.
No. It's all on Peacock. Like if you pull up Peacock,
Yes.
you can choose the main broadcast for those windows. You can choose the world feed with commentary for those windows too. So people can choose.
If you have a choice and you want to choose the right choice, choose the world feed. It'll be Ben Augusto and I commentating
Oh, sweet
every
Ben.
single athlete of this event.
I can't wait.
I can't
wait. Ashley, I had so much fun doing it last year.
I know.
I'm
so bummed that we're not doing it together. That was genuinely a blast. I don't remember much of it because Rosie was 6 weeks old and
yeah, she was still wet.
She was still wet. I was actively drying her off while commentating, and I was getting up 3 times a night with her. So this is going to be great. I can't wait to have my wits about me.
Yeah. I'm distracting myself from not going to this national championships by going to a different national championship today. I'm going to the college football national championship tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go Dogs. They're not in it.
They're not in it, but Go Dogs is an evergreen message.
Go Dogs.
Thank you, everyone. Wow, great.
Yeah.
Safe travels, you guys.
Thank you. We love you, Sarah. And
Yeah.
We'll see you on the podcast, everyone. Welcome back, Sarah Hughes.
Welcome back to the pod, Sarah Hughes.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everyone.
As they say in Wichita. Bye.
Bye.